Hey everyone, welcome back. We're gonna do something cheesy again today. So I've got a holiday joke for you. What is a turkey's favorite dessert? Gonna give you a second to think about that. All right, give up yet? Okay, turkey's favorite dessert is a peach gobbler. Ba-dum-bum. Ha. Oh boy. Yes, I have decided to be cheesy. All right. So today, as I had talked about in our last video when we learned how to do the half double crochet, and the treble crochet, today we are actually going to be working on the basic granny square. This is actually something I have actually never done before, believe it or not. I just never got into the whole hype of the granny square, so I just never learned how to do it. So today I'm actually going to be following a pattern, but from what I understand, this is a very good basic pattern to use for beginners. So here we go. We are actually going to be using two different colors of yarn. I'm actually going to also teaching you how to change colors. So I've got a blue from our last project that we did, and a yellow. Both of them are left over from something that somebody gave me. So I think this one also has, it also has a center pull, but I think I'm gonna do from the outside because that's how I started it basically. So all right, we're going to start with the yellow. We're also going to learn how to do a ring. So a little bit of everything. Again, we are going to need our yarning needle, our scissors, and our H hook, not our N, but our H hook. Is it going to focus on it? I don't think it's going to focus on it. Anyway, just take my word for it. It's an actual H. Yes, I'm actually going to say the right thing today. All right, we're going to start by creating our ring. I say all right a lot. I got to stop doing that. We're going to create our slip knot first. Up over, let's adjust the size of our loop. And then we're going to create our circle. So our instructions actually say to chain 6. So we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're going to slip stitch in the first chain to form our circle. So we're going to take this first chain at the very beginning with the knot. We're going to put our hook in there. We're going to do our slip stitch. I know we barely have done a slip stitch, but if you remember correctly, you just yarn over and pull through all the way through. There we go. Now we've got a ring. Later down the road, I don't want to start you off with a magic circle because it's a little bit fiddlier. It's harder to do when you're a beginner. So we're just going to do it this way so you have more control. All right, so round run, it says to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That actually counts as our first double crochet. Now myself, I usually only do two chains when I am doing a double crochet, but for the sake of this pattern, we're going to follow the pattern and what it has said to do. Then we're going to do 2 more DCs, but or double crochets into the circle itself. So we're going to yarn over, insert the hook into that circle, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. See how that worked? We're going to yarn over again. We're going to insert into the circle, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. They actually consider this a granny cluster, is what they call it, a granny cluster. So the standard granny cluster is just the 3 DCs together. All right, so after the 2 DCs, we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets in the circle. 1, 2, and 3. And then we are going to repeat that 2 more times. So we're going to do a chain of 3. Then we're going to insert our hook into that circle and do another 3 double crochets. And if you also noticed, I actually crochet over my tail. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to skip that as a mention, but I have a tendency to crochet over my tail so that it's easier to just snip it and then be done with it, because you've already secured it by crocheting over it. There's 2 and 3, and it said to do that 2 more times, so we're going to do it 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochets in that circle. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to complete that circle by inserting our hook into that 3rd chain from the very first chain 3 that we did. So we do 1, 2, 3 right there. So I like to go up under and grab that bar and push through, or you can just go through the top 2. So let me get a little bit closer here so you guys can see that a little bit easier. So I actually just grab those top 2 bars of that chain, put my hook, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in that. There you go. All right, so when you get to the end of a round, these are considered rounds, you can change your color out at that time, or you can keep going with the same color. I am actually going to do the same color again for another round. So we're going to do round 2, and then in round 3 we'll change colors. All right, so now we're going to do a chain of 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do 2 double crochets into corner space to the right of the slip stitch. Okay. I don't think I understand that. Oh, okay. All right, so to the right of the slip stitch. So they're saying that you should go right in here. So not in the space itself, but right here. So we're going to go through that again. All right, so we're going to do right here. So we're going to put 2 DCs right here. 1 and 2. And remember that your chain of 3 counts as your first double crochet. All right, and then we are going to go to a chain 1. So we're going to chain 1. Oops, I'm out of the shot there. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to do 3 DC in the next corner space. So we're skipping all these 3 double crochets right here, and we're going to do 3 double crochets in this corner chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do another 3 double crochets in that same corner space. 1, 2, and 3. Then we chain 1, skip those 3 DCs. We're going to go into that next corner space right here. We're going to do another 3 double crochets. Did we chain 1? I think we did. Yeah, we did a chain 1. Then we chain 3. 3 double crochets in that same corner space. Then we chain 1. Skip those 3 DCs and do 3 DCs in the next chain space. We're going to chain 3 and 3 DCs in the same corner space. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to chain 1, chain 1, skip those 3 DCs, and then we're going to do 3 double crochets and the next chain 3 corner space. All right, then we're going to look at our pattern. Sorry, I've got a knot over here on my end. I'm getting it taken care of. And we're going to look back at the pattern again, and we're going to see how it finishes. By normal means, they normally do a chain 3 at the corners. So let's see how it says to finish it. So we're going to do a chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch in the 3rd chain of the initial chain 3 row. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to count that 3rd stitch. So 1, 2, 3 right there. Slip stitch right in there. Okay. So now we've gotten our round 2 of our granny square completed. Now there's actually, you can do 3, 4, 5. I mean, there is no limit on how many granny square rounds that you do, but for the sake of what we're doing, I'm actually just going to do 4 rounds. Okay, so to change colors, what I'm going to have you do, and sometimes people do this a little bit differently, I'm actually just going to have you snip your thread, give yourself a little bit of a tail, because we're going to have to weave in, and just pull that out. You can do that chain 1 so that you can keep that a little bit more secure. I personally do not like doing that, but that's me. All right, so our round 3. So we're going to do exactly like the directions have us do it, but just slightly different, because obviously I'm not going to have you guys do it to the right of that slip stitch. Well, we are, I guess, technically doing it to the right of the slip stitch, but we're just going to actually insert our hook into the space. Now we're going to grab this yellow. I wanted some contrasting colors here for you guys. Now there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You can create a slip knot and do it that way and add the color in that way. I'm not one that likes to do it like that. So I actually just take my yarn, I'm just going to put it in the front, and I'm going to grab through that space that I need to go to, and I'm going to pull up a loop, and then I'm going to grab that yarn again. So basically I'm kind of creating either like a slip knot kind of thing, or a single crochet to some degree. Then we're going to take that, I'm going to crochet the 3. So we're going to consider that as my first chain and go to 3. Now to secure that yarn that I just included that second color, I'm actually going to crochet over both of those colors together. So we're going to do our 3 double crochets in that corner, crocheting over that yarn, and then that secures it a little bit more. Once we're done, then I'm going to weave in those colors into the matching colors. All right, so according to the instructions, I'm going to tuck those behind me, because normally I would actually just keep going and crocheting over, but because this has gaps in between, I don't want to do that, because then it'll you'll just see it. Here, let me just show you what it would look like if I did it this way. It would just show in the back behind there, which looks weird, but instead we're going to just weave them in at the end. I'm going to tuck those behind and just keep on going. All right, so round 3, they did the chain 3, 2 DC in that corner space to the right of the slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, which I've already done. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next side space. So when they're talking about is that chain 1 that we did the previous round. So we skipped those 3 DCs, then we're going to go to that chain 1. So that's our next side space. And then we're going to 3 double crochets into that space. Oops. All right. Then after that, you're going to do another chain 1, and then we're going to skip those 3 DCs, and then we're going to go into that next corner space, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. So we chained 1 already, and we're going to do 3 double crochets. And since this is a corner space, we're going to do 3 chains, and then 3 double crochets. Oh, that's now lovely. I've got a notch. Isn't that lovely? That's what I was trying to avoid with the last one. Oh, is that a really good knot? Yep, it is. It's a really good knot. So we're just going to leave it in there. Hey, look, it's going to hide in the back. Doing things on the fly, I'm telling you. Bane of my existence. All right, now we're going to chain 1. We're going to do 3 double crochets in that side space right there. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 1 again. Skip those 3 double crochets and into the corner space. 3 double crochets. 2. Oh, crocheting a hair in. Oh, that must be mine. It's a little bit darker than white. My dog's color is white, so it wasn't her hair. All right, now we're going to chain 3 because it's a corner. 3 double crochets. Chain 1. 3 double crochets in the chain 1 side space. 2 and 3. And I've got a wandering ball. chain 1, 3 double crochets in that, why does it seem like it's so close? 3 double crochets in that corner space. Then we're going to do 3 chains because we're in a corner again. 1, 2, 3. All right, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the side space. Chain 1, 3 double crochets in the corner. And then we're going to do 3 chains and a slip stitch in that first chain at the top of the chain 3. Now I wanted to show you guys the color change again, so I'm going to go ahead and finish off, but you can continue on if you want to. We're going to do that color change one more time. We're going to go back to that blue again. And some people, they do this every single round. Some, they like to have the same color on the whole entire granny square, but you see how it's kind of shaping up as a square? That's because of this corner. We want to do that chain 3 and then chain 1 in between, so it kind of gives that square effect. All right, we're going to do this again. We're going to do the blue. I'm going to pull that in front. Some people do it differently. This is just the way I do it. I like a little less bulk, but you can do it with that slip knot. Let's see if I'll just do it just for the sake of doing it. We'll do it with the slip knot. So you would do the slip knot and you would pull that through, grab that slip knot. Oh, see, to me this is more fiddly. Oh. And then you would just kind of do a slip stitch to get that connected. See, I don't like that. I just don't like that knot. But that's the way some people do it. I don't like it. So we're going to do it my way. And sometimes you can do it this way, where you do that additional single crochet just to kind of give it a little extra oomph. And then go for the 3, but to me that gives it too much height. That's why I do it the way I do it, just for this particular project. So then we're going to do, so that will create the 3, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochets in that corner, and then we go back to that. You notice I also did the double crochets over those yarns. Then we're going to go back to the single crochet, and then we're going to do the 3 double crochets in the side space, that chain 1 side space. And you see that we've actually, because it's a bigger round, we're going to have to do that again. So we're going to do single crochet. We're going to grab that next single crochet side space and do 3 double crochets in there. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to go into that corner again. Then we're going to chain 3, 3 double crochets, single chain. Get my terminology mixed up here. Then we're going to go into that side single crochet or chain on the side. 2 and 3. Whoops. I don't know what that was. but that was not going to be a single or a double crochet. And we're going to chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the corner, chain 3, 3 double crochets, chain 1. We're going to go into that single chain on the side, chain 1, that one chain on the side, chain 1, and then 3 double crochets in the corner. And that's okay if you guys need to, you know, rewatch this several times, because I know sometimes I get to going too fast and that can be confusing. Then we're going to chain 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in that next space, chain 1, 3 double crochets in that same space or in the next space, 3, and chain 1, and 3 double crochets in that final corner, 2 and 3. And then to finish off, we're going to do 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and then we go to that first chain of that chain 3, insert our hook and do a slip stitch. There we go. Now for the sake of this, I'm just going to go ahead and snip this off. There you go. Congratulations, you finished your first granny square, and so did I. This was the very first granny square I've ever done, and I did it with you. How about that? I actually like this color combination too. It's actually very pretty. All right, so let's go ahead and weave in a couple of these ends so you can kind of see how we want to color coordinate our colors and how we weave them in for this. It's a little bit different than with our coaster. So obviously, get your needle threaded. Now, I know that we already crocheted over top of that, but I like to take it just a little extra and go up underneath there a couple times. And then on the wrong side, I will actually push this to the wrong side and flip this over on the wrong side, because I don't like people being able to see my weaved in ends. So we're going to skip that first piece of yarn right there, because we're going to go back the other way, just so that we can kind of secure that a little bit more. Let's just find a spot in that. Here, let's not put my hands in front of the camera. Now you can go ahead and go back the other way just to give it a little extra security. I don't know about you, but I don't like spending hours on a project and have it unravel just because I didn't secure my ends very well. All right, I think that's sufficient. We're going to snip that off. Now let's find one of our yellows, because that's going to be different, right? I'm actually going to work on the back side of my work. I see my thing is curling up here. All right, so let's go ahead and get this yellow. So my yellow, I've got this already here, so I'm just going to skip over that yellow, that first yellow, and we're going to just kind of weave our way through. We're going to go through the back side of the blue a little bit, and then go through that one, the yellow right there. Then I'm going to turn around and go back the other way Kind of sneak in through that blue and then go back through. You can go through again if you want to, just as a little extra measure to make sure that that's secure. We don't want to go too much because it might make it lay a little bit different. Then we're going to snip that end. One of my least favorite part of a project is weaving in ends, but you know, it is what it is. Now you would do the same thing with the blues and the yellows. You just stick with your color. So this blue, I would weave through here and then go back the other way and then maybe go back the other way. Kind of sneaking through that yellow just a little bit. Not too much because you don't want to do it too much so that it's obvious that you put the blue through that color, especially the yellow. The yellow, it's going to be no more noticeable than the blue. All right, so once you actually get that completely done, just to kind of get it to lay a little bit flatter, I find my steam iron, because this is acrylic yarn, you don't want to use an actual hot iron that you would normally use to iron your clothes with. You want to use a steam iron. That way it doesn't melt your fabric or melt your yarn, because it is acrylic. It is going to melt if you use a regular iron, but if you use a steam iron, give it a nice good shot. Put it on a towel, let it lay it flat, maybe stretch it out just a little bit, not too much because you don't want to lose its shape. Some people actually will get, they are actually made specifically for granny squares where they have 4 posts where you can actually just put it on those posts, shoot it with your steam iron, or you can actually just get it completely wet, put it on those posts and tack it down that way. I'm really not too picky when it comes to that type of stuff. Now, I am a little bit pickier when it comes to when I do my Irish lace and stuff like that, because that is clothing, so it needs to lay flat and lay better. But if it's just a bedspread, it's going to probably get all wrinkled anyway, so no worries. All right, well, that is it for the granny square. You and I both learned that together, so great job, congratulations. And I'm not 100% sure which direction I'm going with my next video, so we're both going to be surprised. Maybe I'll do a cluster or a popcorn stitch, so we'll see. Okay, well, in the meantime, oh, actually, no, that would be too advanced. Probably going to do some pattern teaching you all how to do some pattern, reading some patterns and stuff, because that's important. But we'll find out more in the next video. Until then, have a great day. Bye-bye.